Hello, this is Scott Carpenter, and tonight I wanted to do something a little special. I had dropped hints in my last video concerning the entity in the portal, and so I don't want to take a lot of time, but I did a lot of work on this and tried to enhance it, and found frames where the entity was actually moving both its head and its left arm. And I thought it was interesting. Now, no, it's not crystal clear. It's not 4K, and don't write me no emails telling me, get better cameras and what a fuddy-dud I am. This isn't proof of anything other than I caught something very interesting that looks like it's materializing in a round bubble of water. And so whatever you want to make of that, go right ahead. So, what I want to do first to catch everybody up, those who just, what's he talking about? So, back 2010-ish, I think. I can't ever remember. I'm bad with dates, but I still, I had a 480p camera. I was doing the back trail camera, which means I'm walking away and I'm filming behind me so I don't see what's going on. I come around a corner heading out towards the parking lot, and after I pass, this bubble begins to form, this round bubble thing, portal, whatever you want to call it, and then an entity begins to materialize inside it. Thank God, after I pass. So I've got a stabilized slow motion. Let me play that real quick. And so I just walked by, and yes, it don't have a gimbal, so every time I take a step, it's going to shake and get blurry. So, and I've used my Cyberlink to stabilize it, and the best I could, and I've blown it up and enhanced it the best I can. So right there's the entity, and there goes our motorcycle guy right on cue. Let him go by. Well, at least he didn't just flag it out there. So here's the entity. Right now you can see he's kind of on the side of the trail, kind of facing this way. So I'm just going to let it play. I'll shut my pie hole. And so as I get farther away, you can tell that this event horizon right here is beginning to form, and it gets pretty sharp. And then of course this guy's silvery, blurry, he's just doing whatever he's doing. And there is movement. He does move, and I've caught some movement. He moves other times, but it's just so hard to do to catch it. Of course, I'm swinging back and forth, and you can see here the circle. See right there, look, you can really see the event horizon where it's more in focus, and that just looks like a huge bubble of water. So this is, you can really tell right now it's really starting to form. And he's becoming more, the funny thing is, I don't know, funny, the farther away I get from it, this entity in the portal, the more it materializes, or gets more, I don't know what you want to call it, manifest. It gets dense, where it's you get a little more detail of what it looks like instead of this just a blur. And so you can see here, you can see the bubble. It's getting really, really defined there. You can see, right there. And so as I get further away, of course, the entity itself gets a little bit more. He begins to bring his right shoulder around. When he first started to materialize or manifest, his shoulders were sideways to the trail, and which I showed you. Now, if you continue to watch, you can see his shoulders are starting to square up a little bit. He's kneeling down. He's got his arms on the ground. And so yeah, there he is. See, he's getting more defined. Unfortunately, the farther away I get, the more defined he does. And it's just a straightaway. I come around a slight bend in the trail. Over here is rock outcropping of granite. So those of you who are Dave Pilati fans and Missing 411, my friend Dave, talks about granite and rock formations. He moves quite a bit once I get this far away. And the big movement that I caught was the hand and the arm coming up. Of course, you can see he just kind of stays there as I go out of sight. So, real quick now, let's go to. So basically, I went and there's 4 frames, and where he's moving his head and his arm. So I'm gonna do the head loop here. What I did is I went ahead and I did screen captures of these, and then enhanced them using brightness and contrast and deblurring and sharpening and smoothness, all the enhancement tools that I had available, and denoised and, like I said, sharpened. So and then taking them, sharpening them up, cleaning them up the best I could, and then then string them back together to make a 4-frame video. So like with 1 second for each frame. So this is the head loop. Now he's looking at me. Of course, this is not full size. So let's play it again. He looks at me, right, down, up. One more time. Watch his head. Now on the second one, right here, he actually picks his arm up, and you can see his thumb. So let's see, that's the head loop. That's 2, 3, and 4. That's just looping that movement. In other words, that's going from the right down and up. So that's a full head loop. Let's see how many times I do it. Just do it once, do it twice. Go back, go backwards. So I do go forward and backwards. You're looping us to death. So basically, he's looking at me, looks to the right, looks down, looks up, looks down, looks. Let's go backwards with it. And let's see. Here's a up and down. Just moving the head up and down. You can see the head looks down, up. And you can see the shoulders. Comes, it's a full movement. Like I said, just showing you this is not some shorter trick of light and shadows and leaves blowing in the wind. And move it right to left. Yeah, that's where he looks to the right and comes back and looks down. Okay, dry. And then here's the tout de croix. So this is once I did it, string these back together, I used that like I described last time, that allowed me to use the software to actually in my Cyberlink to do the enhancement, because those tools are so much better. And so here, here's the sequence, and he's looking forward, and really worked on sharpening him up and trying to get as much of the noise out as I could. But adjusting the contrast, I was able to really get the eyes to pop out. So you can see the eyes right there. And that was just gentle adjustments with the contrast and brightness, and then hitting the deblur and the sharpening. So there's that. There's number 2. Now you can really see the head. The head goes hard to the right. Something he's looking down. If he looks right, he's looking. The trail is not a complete dog leg, but it's a pretty decent little turn. So if he turns his head to the right, he's looking down that trail. So he's watching me, and he's also looking down the trail. So he's looking at me, looks to the right. See, he's got a pointed head. He's got like a elongated skull type head. His eyes go left to right. Right here is his hand. That's what I wanted to see. You get caught up in looking at his head, and you miss. He raises his arm, and you can see his thumb. He's got his hand open like that. So let's go back and forth. Watch there. Just watch that area right there. Hand down, hand up. He also, kind of bunches up, pulls that shoulder up. And right there, that hand, right there. So it's down, pulls it up. You can see the shoulder. See the shoulder, it's long, and then when he pulls it up, how the shoulder comes up and out. It's the natural movement anybody would make if you were kneeling and had your hands down. It's like he's kneeling and he's got his hands on the ground. So there's that hand up, head to his right. Then he turns. These are 4 consecutive frames. So these are 30 frames a second. So that's how fast. In 4 frames, in 1/30th of a second, in 4/30ths of a second, he did the quick glance and then back towards me. So there's that. Hand comes up. He sees his eyes are here. Now his head is down. His eyes are here. He's looking down at the hand. It looks like maybe. I don't know what he was doing with his hand. See, there's a shiny object right there. See, I noticed that. Maybe that's just the back of his hand. But as he puts that head right there, as he puts that hand down, and he looks at it. Whatever he's doing right there, he's looking at what he's reaching for. See? At me, to the right, pulls the hand up, pushes the hand back down, grabbing something, I don't know. And then the very last one, he raises his head back up to look straight. It's creepy as heck. To look straight at me. It's just blurry, I get it. But that's pretty clear. That's blurry, that's pretty clear. You can see his skull is elongated. It's obvious. I've done other still captures when I got way off, and I'll show you real quick, and I've de-blurred them, and you can get a little better look at the face, But there he's looking, and then his hand moves to the left just a smidge, it looks like maybe. Isn't that creepy? So he's looking at me, to the right, the hand comes up, down, back at, it looks like he's looking at that left hand, and then up at me. Let's get really creepy. So there he is looking at me. There he is looking down at his hand. Whatever's there. See, his eyes are down, elongated skull. There, the hand comes up. You plainly see the hand, the thumb, shoulder. He's looking to the right. You see the shape of his head there. And then the initial looking at me, where you can see the sun or whatever shining off the center of his head. When you get real close in, you can, nose and maybe the slit of the mouth there. Maybe a little detail in the eyes. I know. It's the blob squatch, leave it alone. But there you go. So very, go back and forth a couple times. To the right, hand up. Beating this dead horse, aren't I? Alright, so this is a script. This is like when I was getting way out, did screen captures and blew it up and did de-blurring and everything. Get us some detail there. Eye in the mouth. The rest of it's kind of yucky. Here's the frame I blew up, so you can see which one I used. And then, I don't know if his nose is real. I don't think his nose is piggy like that. I think that's just when it's de-blurring and everything. The main thing here is you can see the eye sockets and the shape of his head. Oh, and there he is again. So, just to show you the portal, and I've showed this before, this is a collage of different filters, just so you can see this in the artifact, that, there is the event here. This is real. When you change the contrast, you can see, there is a thing in this. And then this thing has form and all the different filters. It's a good way to, if this thing's shadows and stuff, usually when you start running these filters and you invert colors, it'll just all get mishmashy like it up in here, but you can see it maintains its integrity. And you can see the event horizon. You can see him in the portal. I think that's, here's the one where I show you, just you can really see the edge of it good. You can see it's blurry on the inside. So, whatever it is happening right there. So, that is the entity in the portal. Strange stuff, That's it. What I can't get over, and I'll leave it be. But when I did that, the head movement in this arm, that to me, that's the crazy thing. Is that hand coming up? That's whole body movement there, shoulder, head. And then he looks back down, puts the arm down. Like I said, see that right there? It's something. Looks like, I don't know whether it's falling out of his hand. It's there. He looks down at it. It's like he raises his hand. Does he drop it? Is he repositioning? And then he looks at it. He's looking at whatever that is. I know it's a blob. It's obviously important. He wouldn't reach down and picked it up or tried to put his hand on it. And then he looked at me, he moved it again. Once from there, looks like, I don't know, like he flattened it. Maybe he's just putting his hand down, but it's just crazy looking. Anyway, so with that, short but sweet. How many minutes? Yeah, short and sweet. And not too bad, 19, 20 minutes. Just a little treat. The next video I'm going to do, I'm going to get back on part 2 of the Sasquatch genome study in a nutshell. So guys, thanks for watching, and y'all have a good week and be careful out there. God bless, and we'll see you next time.